And you know, when I really noticed that something was happening is when my clothes literally started falling off. Like
Falling
my
off.
pants
Wow.
fell
And you
off.
know, it was funny. I saw something you said too. You know, Caribbean people, oh, girl, you're losing weight.
All these things, you don't have to get them all to be diagnosed with major depressive disorder. But because I had severe major depressive disorder,
You
I
had everything.
literally had every
Everything.
single
Wow.
thing on the list. Yeah. And, you know, from day to day, it is hard to manage. But in terms of management, there are antidepressants that if it's bad enough, you may have to take antidepressants. I just happen to be one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to take a sleep aid if you're not sleeping well, which I just happen to have to take.
Wow.
You One of the main things is that most, if not all, people would have to start therapy sessions because something caused the depression and you would have to work through it if you
You
want to get
started
over it.
therapy as well?
Yes, I started therapy as well. Oh my God, therapy is so hard. But
Really?
it's good. It's
Was it
actually
effective?
good.
It was effective.
It was effective. I am still supposed to be taking therapy sessions, but it's a bit difficult with the
Now
whole
with all of this, right?
COVID-19 lockdown and everything. But opening up old scars, like you need to try to open up an old scar on your actual
How
hand and
hard
tell
it
me
is,
how painful it is. If it's
right?
not more painful than when you first got the scar.
Just so you have so much layers already covering that, blocking that already,
Yeah.
right? Close that off, and you're trying to dig
Yeah,
up old
and
wounds,
you gotta open it back up so it can heal properly.
right?
But it's very beneficial. I honestly, personally believe that medication without the therapy doesn't make sense.
Mm.
Um, because it's like a halfway treatment with the medication alone, and the therapy
I think
actually
the medication
complements
is like putting a band-aid over, but not really getting deep into
somewhat
what.
because
Mhm.
one, I don't want to say just putting a bandage, because what a lot of people don't understand is that depression isn't these words that I hate to hear, mad people, crazy people, she tripping off
Exactly. Hmm.
kind of thing. But there's actually an imbalance in the chemicals in your
Yep.
brain. Like it's
It's
a
totally
legit
imbalance.
medical thing.
Hmm.
There's something physical happening in
Hmm.
your brain. It's not just you thinking a certain way alone. And the medication actually helps to bring back
Balance of
balance to those
right.
chemicals that are being produced in your brain, whether they're being produced or not, to
Hmm.
get back that balance. So I think a lot of people don't even understand that factor. When I actually explained it to a few people, they were like, I didn't know there was like an actual chemical thing
Yes,
happening,
it's a chemical
you
imbalance.
know? So, and other things you have to do on your own that's really more personal. A doctor can't necessarily prescribe that, or a therapist can't necessarily direct you to do that specific thing. But it's your little day-to-day coping methods. So the sad part is that you most likely gonna need more than one,
Right.
and sometimes you have to do them all or a bunch of them for them to
Hmm.
actually work.
Right.
And sometimes the one that worked last time isn't gonna
Or might
work
not
again.
work this time. It varies.
I've actually tried meditation. That's not for me.
Hmm.
They say if it's not working, it means you're doing it wrong and you actually need to do it. No, it's just not for me. It
Right. Not
works
for
for
you.
some people. I've seen it work for some people,
Hmm.
but you have to know what's for you at the end of the day, and not everything will work for you
True.
as it will work for somebody else.
True.
Um, I've tried being consistent with exercising. Corona's not making that continue
I was
right
just going to say,
now
well, how is that going?
because I'm the person that likes to be in the gym. I
Oh,
don't really like going and run on the road or
yeah.
doing the sit-ups
So
in your
at home
living
exercise is
room.
not really your thing.
Yeah, that's not my thing. I will
Yeah.
go
Oh,
down,
yeah. We
do
used the
two
gym together too,
sit-ups.
girl. Remember those days?
Yes.
Me and Nicolette
I
used to
go
keep
down, do
up.
two sit-ups, and then I'm like, it's very hard to keep up with that
Mm.
during that time. I actually have an adult coloring book, which is pretty fun.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes I'm not in the mood for it, and I still try to use it.
Okay, yeah.
But when I'm in the mood for it, it's pretty fun.
That's nice. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
So that's been helping you cope a little bit as well.
Yeah, it actually has been. I mean, prayer and trying to stay in the word
Of
is
course,
a
of
big deal.
course.
I think that having hope and faith in something,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
it whether it's being Christian, being Muslim, being Hindu, whatever it is, like therapists would tell you, you need to have hope in something because
And
depression is loss of hope.
right. And I know this is probably a topic for a different day, but I just want to
Yeah.
stick in there that many Christians do believe that Christians shouldn't be depressed.
Right.
Many,
And
I
I
know I
had a
get a
big
little
issue with
deep
that.
into something else, but it's true, and I'm just shocked.
I had a big issue in that, and I think I probably butt some heads when I made my testimony in church because I told them straight up like um prayer by itself doesn't cure everything. It's a dead fact. It doesn't. And the Bible itself tells you that prayer without work is dead.
Is that
So
it? Mm-hmm.
who are we to try to just use prayer alone? You
Mm-hmm.
have to add the work with the prayer,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know? And in a depressed state, it's already hard to pray, much less to put
That's
in the work,
true. That's true.
right? But I did have times as well that I couldn't even find the words to pray for myself, or all I had was tears.
Wow.
So I actually have people now that I'll just message and tell them pray for me, and they'll know what's happening,
I
and
was just about to ask you,
they'll
do you
say a
have that
prayer for me and
support
stuff.
system, those prayer warriors in your corner that really
Yes,
pray for you?
yes,
That's good.
definitely. There are a lot of other coping mechanisms. They advise that you just find hobbies, find new things to do, like probably pick up something new every month. Doesn't have to be something big. Like
Mhm.
I even bought two little cactus. Yeah, they're my
Okay.
babies. I love them. The ironic part is that I think that they're actually a bit connected to me because like 2 weeks ago when I was actually depressed
Mhm.
again, one of them started dying.
Oh gosh, did they feel the
Yeah,
energy? Didn't they feel
but
the
it's
energy?
it's it's catching back itself right now. It's catching back itself.
Wow.
And just trying to maintain a healthy diet and stuff like that
Definitely.
actually helps to contribute to improving where you're at mentally. But I think awareness is very important
Oh,
in the
definitely.
society that we live in
Yeah.
today.
So I know you talked a little bit about your personal experience and what you've been going through internally, but what finally really encouraged you to say, okay, let me be open with it. Let me post about it on social media. I know you use your Instagram page to post about it and actually give people an insight of what you've been going through. What encouraged you to finally say, hey, I have major depression disorder, I have panic disorder, and all these things?
So before I even opened up on social media, there are a few people that I actually opened up to, and like 90% of those people actually had similar experiences, whether they
Wow.
were diagnosed or not. And it made me realize that one, I'm not the only one, and two, a lot of people don't know a lot about
About
depression
it.
in itself. We have a false concept of what depression is, and that's bad.
Mm.
And experiences with people at church, extended family members, persons who are like, girl, don't take that medication, it will send you crazy.
Heard it before. Yeah.
Or who had to say, all you need is some prayer. You just need to delve into the word. And, I don't mean to give the facial expression, but I
I
don't like
know.
when people that focus on the prayer and not the work part with the prayer. Christians shouldn't be depressed. When you're depressed, it means that you don't have faith in God.
I can imagine. I
You
know.
know? And just realizing that there is this false concept of what mental health and
It
mental
really is.
illness is made me realize that people need to know. People really
Girl,
need to know.
education and ignorance, sorry, is a serious thing.
It's a
Ignorance is
problem. It's
really
a
a serious thing.
disease. It's an
Mhm.
actual disease,
Yes,
you
it's a
know?
disease.
And what really pushed me into saying something is there was two instances where a doctor and a medical student committed suicide. And
Is this in
the
Trinidad?
one, One is in Trinidad, one is away in the States. The ward that I was on, the team that I was on, some of the doctors there were colleagues of that doctor who committed suicide. And that morning, the comments they were making, oh my God, but she's such a spiritual person. And she has a young daughter that's only 3. She always seems so happy. Like, why would she do something like that?
Wow.
She should have asked for help. And, all the comments going out.
And all these things.
And I'm just there getting angry and also smiling at the same time at the lack of knowledge of people in
and people
the
also
medical
say when you don't have any personal experience or don't have any understanding of it.
I think that personal experience is key because these are medical professionals, and it's so sad that in the medical fraternity there's
they can make
so
these comments,
little
right?
insight. Yes, so little connection or understanding to this, because I would have experienced while being depressed being battered by consultants. Like, I was actually told by a consultant while I was at the brink of, just like, I think it was 2 weeks before I was diagnosed, the consultant was like, you don't plan to do my specialty because you clearly not ready for this. Like, why are you even here this morning? And I'm like, Lord, help me not to cry. And the tears is right there. Wow. Yeah, the tears is right there, and I'm trying so hard not to. And he was just being difficult that morning, and it made me realize that in the medical field, even, you look at the general community, society that don't understand, but if our own people who teach this thing don't understand or contribute to the problem, then where do we stand? And it made me realize that you had to start the change with you, because if you don't do it, who you expect to?
That's true.
So, I started making those posts so that people understand, like, depression isn't just this, like, it's a lot. And I'm not just talking from the textbook, I'm talking from what I've experienced. So, it's the real deal, and just already having that drive for mental health awareness from before, it just added completely.
Right. And that's perfect. Well, I can personally say, me, from just reading your posts and things like that, it made me see you in a new light, and it even made me ask myself, or I felt a little bit guilty, Nicolette, I won't even lie, because I'm like, okay, I've seen Nicolette all these days and all this time. Why didn't I, really pick up on something more, or maybe be like, So it kind of made me do a little, like, self-reflection.
But at the same time, I can't completely be angry with people because I actively made an effort to hide it. I actively made an effort to hide it just because of the stigma that comes behind it.
There is a stigma. But like you said, a lot of people dealing with it internally, and they put on this brave face and they put on this facade that everything's going okay and everything's good. So I must say, Nicolette, you was doing a good job. I have to say, you did a good job. You hit it well, honestly.
I should go into acting.
But you are so right. There definitely is a stigma with if you're depressed, you're crazy, you need to go to the psychiatric hospital, something wrong with you, you on drugs, all these things and these thoughts that, and I think it's just this Caribbean old school mindset. Sometimes it's like, because even me and you talked about in our personal conversation, if you have food on your table, if you have clothes to wear, if you went on the street dying,
you have to worry about.
Sad about you have nothing to be sad about. What you sad for? What you depressed for? You be depressed. You ungrateful.
That's the word. You ungrateful.
I think in the Caribbean, we don't take mental health serious enough.
No, we don't.
And not until someone commits suicide or somebody dies, then we're like, oh boy, what they were going through, what happened to them, So it's sad that we live in this world now, and that's why mental health awareness is so important.
And that's one thing I've actually made it my life's mission to normalize mental health and mental illness. Just like how we exercise to lose weight every day and eat healthy because we want to get that few tummy pounds off and stuff. We should normalize doing mental health stuff to maintain our mental health.
We take care of our physical health, we take care of our mental health as well.
And a lot of us don't do it. Majority of us don't do it. The everyday things that just as you should take care of your body every day, take a shower, stuff like that, you need to take care of your mental health every day as well.
That's so true. And
Yeah.
it's so great that you now have this platform to really speak out on it. Well,
Yeah.
y'all, I've been telling Nicolette she needs to write a book. I already tell you need to write a book, because seriously, because I mean, all your knowledge can't really be given in this one little video. All your knowledge and all these things that you've gone through, like, you seriously need to write a book, because like I told Nicolette, she has a testimony, she has a platform, she has a story to tell. So as we wrap up, is there any specific advice you want to give teenagers, children growing up, feeling depressed, but they can't really open up and say anything, or anything like that? Any advice?
One thing I would say, you see, I don't
Or
want to say
not even children, adults as well. Anybody that's battling inwardly with depression who, that's not really open to
I
seek
think
help.
I think it's important for everybody to at least have that one person they could open up to that would listen to them with no judgment, no looking down on them, anything. They could tell them anything. Everybody needs that one person. If you don't have a friend in your circle like that, you need to revise your circle.
True.
Honestly.
Very true.
Because everybody needs that person. And talking to people is a big part of it. Not burying the issues, but bringing them to the forefront. Let them take some sun, dry up a bit. Yeah, you really need to talk to people about it. I honestly believe that we need to normalize going for counseling and therapy sessions. Even if you feel fantastic, go for a therapy session. It's like going for a health checkup.
Right.
You feel fine, but you're just going for your yearly checkup or whatever.
I like that, Nicolette. Just like you go for the checkup, you go for that counseling, that mental checkup. I like that.
Yes, it's very important. And I think we need to normalize those kind of things. And I advise people to do those things. If you don't have that person to talk to, if you're connected to a school or where you work or whatever, they have a counselor there, they have a therapist there just for if anything happens. Utilize your tuition money, your tuition paid for that. Sometimes you just need that one random person who doesn't know you or won't judge you to just spill your guts and empty everything that you've been burying inside. And to be honest, those are the things that actually add to general everyday stress that push you down into that depressed state. So if you just get rid of some of those scars and reduce some of your everyday stress by those everyday coping mechanisms, then it will be less likely for you to end up in that position. Enjoy the outdoors. The outdoors have been helping me, even though it's Corona time.
I see you been doing little walks and things. I see you.
Enjoying outdoors. Sometimes just enjoying an event or an activity or moment without trying to record it for social purposes. It adds to it. It actually does.
Even that too. Sorry.
Yeah.
With social media, I think, especially teenagers, we have to control that social media thing,
Not only control, I think that, and I've even been caught in it 1 or 2 times, and I had to pull back myself and be like, that's not you, pull back. Social media and what you see people posting out, sometimes you get sucked into, oh my God, I need to put the image out there too and maintain that image. So people could think I'm in with the crew, and I'm up with the times and I'm all together and good. We're not putting any negative things out there. We're letting people think we all got it.
It's all a show. It's a stage.
It's all a stage. One person have one corner, one have the next corner. We putting on a whole theater production. I think that's a big problem. That's why that's one of the things I would have been posting, saying that, people always put not necessarily positive things out there, but this rainbow sunshine outlook on things and all the things that are the real issues in life that people need to discuss and get off their chest.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to discuss that because it's like the ugly truth. So I think that social media breaks are very important. I think that people should, every now and again, if it's for one day in the whole month, you just shut down all your social media. Do not touch your phone unless you are dying.
I've done like social media fast where I just take a month or a few weeks and just log off Facebook, log off Instagram.
That's a lot.
Yes,
You actually realize that, oh my God, flowers actually open up in the day and
hello.
close at night. You
So
notice a
true.
lot of things that are right in front of
And
you.
you realize how much time of your day you really put into being on these social media
Yes.
networks.
Those
You
barriers,
realize
those
how little
borders for us to pull ourselves back a bit from all that's happening and just enjoy the moment, be in the moment, do some self-improvement stuff.
definitely.
See how you could work on yourself as a person and let's have better people in the world, rather than
True.
spending so much. Because social media itself can depress you when you realize everybody's having this fantastic life. And I'm here like, what's going on with me? Am I like in the wrong location
Exactly.
or something?
Exactly.
So sometimes that break really helps.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Nicolette. And I definitely look forward to seeing what you're going to do with bringing awareness to mental health, especially in the Caribbean, because the suicide rates in the Caribbean are rising, as we know and as we see. And,
Yes, it is.
mental health is not taken seriously enough. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do, Nicolette. I have faith in you, and I know you're going to do it. And I'm so happy that you started with your Instagram page, and you're building that awareness, and you're building that platform. So I'm very excited for you. Cheers.
Cheers.
So thank you so much, Nicolette, for giving us your time and talking about your experience. I know sometimes it can be difficult, but we appreciate it nonetheless. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this session. And trust me, there'll be much more to come. Thanks for coming to Sip Tea Saturdays with Satia and Nicolette.